Okay, let's see how this goes. This is designed to be an update to a YouTube video regarding climate change and risk assessment and what's the worst that can happen. That was made about 10 years ago. It was actually made in 2006. And I will give full attribution to that previous work in the YouTube notes after this gets uploaded. But I thought I wanted to update this a little bit, since I talked about it in class last week, and expand it from a 2x2 truth table to a 3x3 truth table. And you should probably really watch the original video to give some background on some of this, and I'll take it from there. And this whole thing concerns climate change and our action plan or inaction plan. And as the person before me did, I will basically go through the row versus column thinking on this, but with an extra column and an extra row added. So over here in row 1, we will see what happens if we believe, hello there, that climate change is real. And of course, it could be false. But the intermediate column I've added, I think, is the credible scientific column, which is we can't ever know. The signal of climate change is hidden in a great deal of noise, uncertain baselines, inaccurate measurements, unreliable calibration. Scientifically, it's a very difficult thing to prove that humans are causing climate change. Yes, you can make a very scientifically defensible and scientifically plausible argument that this is occurring, but in a true scientific sense of proof, it cannot be done yet. The signal is not strong enough. So what do we do if we can't ever know? So our column choices are, again, we do something, action. Column C is the same as before, where we just, sit with our thumbs up our asses and do nothing. But column B is an intermediate case between action and nothing. And we'll just call column B something. Which means that committees have gotten together, studied the problem, recommendations have been made. So these are recommendations, which I can't spell, to do something, with intent that something gets done, and we'll explore what something means in a little while. So, as before, if we took some action and climate change is actually true, did the right thing. Mostly by accident, but we did the right thing. In terms of mitigation and adaptation. We provided people resources to adapt to climate change, relocation, whatever. And some of what we applied did mitigate some of the effects of climate change. So we declared climate change as true, and we invested in dealing with its consequences, and that's the right thing. Now, of course, if it turns out it's false, then that's the wrong thing. We never want to do the wrong thing, because after all, we've never done the wrong thing before, so why start now? So that would be the wrong thing, because climate turned out to be false, and we invested a boatload of money into adaptation and mitigation that we didn't have to. We could have built strip malls instead or whatever. So there's the right thing, there's the wrong thing. All right, I'm not going to get to the middle column yet. I've also never done this before, and I'm not going to edit this, so I don't know where this is going to go. So in the middle column, if it turns out to be true, and we did nothing, that's the big ouch. Mass suffering, for lack of a better word. We did absolutely the wrong thing here, so this is the wrong thing. So we can do the wrong thing here, or we can do the wrong thing here. So, since this is a human choice, it's always possible for humans to do the wrong thing. And if it turns out to be false and we did nothing, hooray! We got lucky. We didn't really do the right thing, we just got lucky. And, you know, luck's part of this matrix. So, now what about these middle areas? What can we do here? Well, first of all, action. We can't even know, all right? There's a simple response to put in this box. If we can't even know, if that's the science message, is that we can't be sure, then what are you going to do? Bet against that message? That would be a bad idea. You invest in avoidance of the worst possible outcomes. That outcome, where climate change is true, it happened, and we didn't do squat about it. We just let it happen. So this avoids doing the wrong thing. And you would like to invest in avoiding doing the wrong thing. Which makes this box with this column completely irrelevant. Who cares if the scientific community doesn't know? We've got to make the investment anyway as an avoidance mechanism. Good example, New Orleans didn't pass a bond to upgrade from Cat 3 to Cat 5 because after all, a Cat 5 hurricane is never going to hit New Orleans. And then when it did, the cleanup cost is roughly 10 times more than the original cost from upgrading the bond measure from Cat 3 to Cat 5. That's called avoidance cost. Spend the money now so you do not get screwed later. We're not very good at that lesson. All right, now, we got 4 more boxes to fill in. So, in the case of do nothing, and we can't even know, this is a coin flip. Maybe it worked out, maybe it doesn't. Do you want to trust your future well-being to a coin flip? I don't. All right, now we have the middle something. All right, so let's just say it's true, and we have policy makers working on something to do about it because it's soon to be true. The problem here is that this is going to be slow, 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 slow. The idea? Slow, slow. Because right now our government is so dysfunctional, Congress is in constant gridlock, there's perceived to be lots and lots of problems. So even if we agree that it's true, and if we agree that we should do something, my fear is we're just going to be stuck in that world, and nothing really is going to be done. Okay. Now, of course, if climate change is assumed false, that box is real simple. Nothing's going to happen. Since we already know it's false, why do anything? And then finally, the real life box. And the real life box is the one in the middle. We can't be sure that climate change is occurring, and we don't know what to do. So there's 2 choices there. You can either stay in this paralysis, or you can do what was advocated before, is you just pretend that we're going to live in this box, independent of rows and independent of columns. This is our public policy. Avoidance. Avoid doing the wrong thing. Invest in whatever it takes so that you don't go here. If we sit around doing nothing, if we sit around recommending stuff to do in a slow, slow, slow way, all of these, or if we simply don't believe in climate change, all of those roads will lead to this box. We've done nothing, climate change has occurred, and everybody is suffering. Surely that is the outcome to avoid.